Good evening and welcome to Inside Kennedy Football, your weekly look inside the Eagle football program. My name is Josh Powers. Coming up on this edition of Inside Kennedy Football, we recap a big Kennedy win from Friday, 29-7 with the head coach Kedrick Williams. We'll also preview the final game of the regular season for Kennedy against Mound West Tonka. We'll talk to Jackson Reichenberger Cooper and Jesse Falk in the players segment, and in the coaches segment, we will catch up with JV head coach Denard Shelton. But first, Kedrick Williams. Kedrick, what a fun game on Friday and a huge win for you and the seniors. I know DJ and I just had a blast just watching you guys come away with that 29-7 win.
Thanks again for having me, Josh. I appreciate it. Yes, it was so great to actually get a W last Friday for us. Columbia Heights is starting to become kind of a rival game, and that's something that we wanted to go ahead and fix due to what they did to us last year.
Yeah, and Columbia Heights have been playing their best football of the season coming into that game, and you guys really just you won all three phases, coach. There's no other way to put it. It was a pretty comprehensive performance from your team.
And really, that's what we talk about, Josh. Is all three levels: special teams, defense, offense. Our offense, we were really going for the shutout. The guys that talked about it with our D coordinator, Jay Robinson. But our offense, unfortunately, had an untimely turnover in their area, and they were able to pick it up and a couple plays later score. So they did have one score in the night, but I was really proud of our young sophomore class. They made some tremendous plays all night. And to seal it, it was a sophomore Elijah Smith who made sure they did not score again. So, real fun game.
Yeah, you made up for that one turnover in offense with five turnovers forced by your defense. Let's get into the highlights, coach. We'll start in the second half. Your team's up 7-0, and right out of the gate, opening kickoff second half, you talked about one of those sophomores, Marquez Monroe. What a play by him.
And we had talked about special teams, getting into the year. I'm so proud of those guys. This is our third touchdown on special teams this year, Josh. And we had really talked about special teams being a big emphasis this year. Really watching film for it. There's Marquez with a nice stiff arm, Derrick Henry stiff arm at the end to go ahead and score. So I'm really proud of Marquez. He scored for us now a few times this year, and it's just adding another weapon to the overall team.
I felt bad for that kicker because Marquez, that just was not fair, coach.
Well, it would have been worse for Marquez if you let a kicker make the tackle.
Exactly. All right, next highlight, coach. Your defense, we talked about the five turnovers. This is a big one to keep momentum on your side with an interception.
Right, and what you're just going to see us here is they're playing one of our cover two shell looks. I had been teasing Zaire all day, all game that he was letting his kid kind of get to him, and told him to just basically sit down and jump the ball and make a play. And I'm glad he listened. The guys are
Well,
giving me crap because they say I shouldn't get credit for it, but I think I should. I told him that it was coming, and he just listened and made a good jump.
well, let's see more from Zaire because he was kind of dancing around all game, coach. This is one where he didn't run all over the field. He just made a quick cut upfield and turns it into a 23-yard touchdown reception.
Correct. And this is one where we told him basically, to just run. Your speed is going to allow you to go ahead and get the momentum there. And you see at the end his little dance move to let the defender go in front of him, and he cut back. So a good Twitter highlight for him.
We're going to get to some senior moments, coach. Obviously, you saw one right there with Zaire, but boy, Dion Barber, what a way for him to end his Bloomington career at home. A really nice 20-yard touchdown run here.
And not knowing that, when we went to Dion, it was senior night. We let him know, but I did not know this was actually Dion's first touchdown for Kennedy. As many times as Dion has run the ball, I guess this was his first score. So to do it his senior year on senior night, that's even more special.
And then talk about the 2-point conversion, coach. To me, that this is the most memorable play of the night, and you had a specific reason why you decided to try this 2-point conversion, even though you're up big late in the game. It wasn't about running up the score or anything like that.
It really wasn't. Senior night is so momentum, Josh, and it's one of those things that we had talked about when you talk about goals. We had talked about winning senior night this year. We were so close in it last year when we played Washburn, but overall, Brady Bean had talked about making memories before the game. and he talked about his last memory being as a freshman. So we just wanted to get him a new memory, and Jesse Falk as well, to get a new memory to end their senior careers here at Kennedy.
And Brady was able to catch that 2-point conversion from Jesse, who is going to come up here in our next segment, in our players segment. But just overall, Coach, we'll get to Mound West Tonka in our final segment, but just talk about this senior class as a whole and what it's meant to this Kennedy team over the last few years.
Well, I just really want to take time first and foremost to thank my senior parents who are tuning in. Thank you so much for the confidence that you've had in myself and the previous coaching staff to allow us to coach your kids, become our kids. To my seniors that are leaving, I tell you all the time, life starts now. Expectations are nothing but goals yet to be reached. So understand that, from here on, I'm always there for my seniors. I love my senior group. I'm just so proud of them. I'm really proud of seniors like Jesse, who you will meet in just a moment, and Jackson Reichenberger, guys who have been in the program all 4 years, have made plays all 4 years. They both have tremendous academic grades. Jesse will be furthering his career over at Carleton College. Jackson is still yet to decide wrestling or football. So, just to have those kids in their senior years and see that great success that they had, I'm just really proud of them, and I can't say enough about how good young men they will be. Jesse's really huge in the community with social justice, and I'm really proud of him for that.
All right, Coach, great performance by you. We're going to meet those two young men coming up in our next segment. We'll catch up with you as we preview Mound West Tonka in the last segment, okay?
I'll see you in a minute.
All right, that's the head coach, Kedrick Williams. Up next, it is the players segment with Jesse Falk and Jackson Reichenberger Cooper when Inside Kennedy Football continues. Welcome back to Inside Kennedy Football. The Eagles take to the road for their final regular season game tomorrow night. It's a Wednesday game, remember, this week for both Kennedy and Jefferson. A Wednesday game as they will travel out west to Mound West Tonka for Kennedy's final home game of the season. Kennedy, of course, coming off of that big 29-7 dominating performance last Friday in that big win over Columbia Heights. As we transition now to our player segment, and two of the seniors that have been so instrumental throughout the years for Kennedy, Jackson Reichenberger Cooper and Jesse Falk, join me now, guys. Appreciate the time.
Thank you.
Jackson, I couldn't help but when we were listening to the senior day ceremony, the presentation before the game, they asked you advice for other players, and I'm interested. I want you to tell it from your own from your side. What exactly did you write there, if you can remember word by word there?
For advice for other players?
Yeah. I think you said something about like life is short, so live it for me or something like that. Does that ring a bell for you?
Oh yeah, it's just basically what I was trying to say is just like live your life how you want to and how it makes you happy, cuz I don't know, I see a lot of people holding themselves back because of what other people think, and that's basically all I was trying to say.
Jesse, we're going to run back this 2-point conversion. Talk about this memorable moment for you. You're able to connect to Brady Bean, on a great throw. Just what does this play mean to you and for Coach Williams to put that ball in your hand one more time?
I mean, yeah, it was a really powerful moment for sure, because I've been playing with Brady for years, since like middle school and maybe even elementary school, and just because it wasn't planned like beforehand, so we scored and he was like, "Hey, get Brady out there, and we're gonna do a 2-point." It was a really powerful thing to do, senior night at home, and we're already up, and it was really meaningful.
You guys have been playing great defense all year, most notably last Friday. Jesse, you had a nice pass breakup right before the half yourself. But what was the mindset for you guys? You held Columbia Heights to just over 100 yards, rushing less than 4 yards per carry. You guys forced 5 turnovers. Just had to be a tremendous night for you guys. What was the message going in?
J-Rob, our coach, was telling us like before the game he wants like them to put up an egg at our house, and we were just going in trying to get a shutout for sure. And so we were really, really hyped, really aggressive on defense the whole night.
Jackson, I know you play on both sides of the ball, but offensively, terrific rushing performance by the team, 180 yards on the ground. You were a big part in that. What does that mean to you to pave the way for such critical plays? We saw the run by Deion Barber, of course, near the end of the game. Had to feel good from your side.
Yeah, actually, we've been talking a lot about getting a pressure on the O-line, and I've just been talking to my guys on the O-line a lot about just working every play, like giving 100% and pushing your guy out the way so our running backs can go and score for us,
Jesse, Coach Kedrick praised you on and off the field. Let's get to your off the field a little bit. He talked about what you're doing with social injustice, and your grades have been extremely high at Kennedy. So just talk a little bit about what you do off the field.
Yeah, I feel like right now with what's going on in the country and especially in the state and city specifically of Minneapolis, I feel like it's a good moment and opportunity to speak about what I believe in and support what many other people are supporting too. I've helped organize some protests, and I attended a few in Bloomington as well. And I feel like it's a really good cause to support.
Jackson, how about you? How about you off the field? What are some of your interests? What are some of your likes and dislikes? I know you're a guy that's very opinionated, and you seem like just a guy that does a lot of things off the field. So talk about that.
Well, I participate in my other sports off football season, but other than that, just kind of focusing on school and focusing on perfecting my game. I work out, just anything to keep my mind right.
Last question for both of you. As you look ahead to your life after high school, Jesse, I know Coach Kedrick Williams mentioned you're headed to Carleton next year. So talk about what life lies ahead for you and why you decided to go down to Northfield for that college experience.
Well, I haven't committed yet, so I don't know. But I feel like it's definitely a really good choice for me. And I feel like life after high school is going to be really focused on not just like the next 4 years in college, but like the next like 40 years building, a career and building a life ahead of me. And so that's kind of going to be my big motivation and kind of what I'm focusing on after high school.
How about you, Jackson? Same question for you. I know you don't have the choices necessarily finalized yet, but what does life look like for you next year?
I'm definitely going to be attending a university. I'm just not sure which one yet. And I'm not really sure. I just want to build up my career as a man. Graduating high school, it's a big deal to me. And I don't know.
All right, guys. Well, it was great to see your team have such great success on Friday, and best of luck tomorrow against Mount Westonka, okay?
It's Thursday. It's Thursday, actually. But
Thursday. Sorry. Forgot about that. As we've got our game tomorrow, of course, Jefferson's at home. But good luck Thursday, guys. Don't show up tomorrow. That would be awesome.
Thank you.
All right, guys. That's Jackson Reichenberger Cooper and Jesse Falk as they will play Thursday at Mound Westonka as Kennedy closes their regular season. Up next, the coaches segment with Denard Shelton as Inside Kennedy Football continues. Back on Inside Kennedy Football as the Eagles will travel on Thursday night to play Mound Westonka in their regular season finale. Time for the coaches segment as we bring in JV head coach Denard Shelton. Denard, appreciate the time. You've been a frequent guest in Inside Kennedy Football. I know we're not in person, but good to visually see you again, Coach.
It does feel good, and I appreciate the opportunity you guys having me on here today.
I know we kind of run through your football resume every time you're on, Denard, but we've got new grade levels coming in and out of the program. So just once again, Coach, your affiliation with the game of football and how that eventually led you to be a coach at Kennedy.
Well, like I've said multiple times since I've been on, I'm a graduate of the class of 2003 here at Kennedy High School. I, kind of stayed away from football after I graduated, but 5 years ago, I was, approached with an opportunity to come coach, and at the time, John Anderson was the head coach. I got in touch with him. He said, I'd be happy to have you on, and I've been here with it ever since, and it's been a blast here working under Coach Williams and his staff.
Your role this year, Coach, is with the junior varsity team. So just kind of give a state of the state of the program. What does the junior varsity team look like this year? How have you been performing?
Well, we primarily have a lot of sophomores, and we have a lot of freshmen on that junior varsity team. And future's looking pretty good. We got a lot of kids eager and willing to learn. And that's basically what my focus is getting these guys ready to perform on Friday nights. We've had a couple freshmen suit up for Friday nights, and they come up to me and they say, Coach, this is a lot different feel than on Monday afternoons or Monday evenings for JV games. I'm like, yeah, this is what all that hard work comes and pays off in practice and in games.
As the JV coach, you just kind of mentioned one piece of advice you give there, but how do you get a young player ready to transition to that varsity level? What are some things, obviously, besides athletic ability and the measurables, but what are some of the other things that you're looking for when you give Coach Kedrick Williams recommendations on guys that you'd like to see step up in future years?
Well, the one thing I tell our kids is that this game is a lot more mental than it is physical. It's one thing to put up, 145 pounds, 245 pounds on a bench press any day, but if you're not constantly thinking out there on the field, you're not going to go anywhere, all right? So, and one thing that I think I tell Coach Williams, I'm always in a lot of our offensive staff and defensive staff say, you need to give this guy a look, you need to give that guy a look. He's got good footwork, he knows how to read well, etc., etc.
One guy, Coach, that we've really seen step up this year, Rajon Walker. How involved were you in his development last year? Because he seems like a guy that, he's really hit the ground running at the varsity level in his first year.
I mean, I had him for a couple of games last year when he was suit up for the JV level, and just basically having to pull him aside after every offensive series and asking him, what did you see? What coverage were they in? What are you seeing? How many high safeties you have? How many this? How many that? I'm every time he steps off the field, I'm pretty much in his ear trying to figure out where his head's at, and it's that type of conversations that we need to have in order to be successful out there on the field.
How important is that junior varsity level to what eventually a varsity program can become? Because I think it kind of gets lost in the shuffle. You see other, professional leagues have minor leagues, but those minor leagues basically have players the same ages usually that are on those the professional level top teams. But you're dealing with young men that are more oftentimes than not at a younger age level than where they're going to be when they eventually step up to the varsity level. So how critical is that JV program in the development of a varsity program?
It's like I tell the kids, we are the breeding ground for the future. So our job is to get you ready for that those Friday night lights when they're on bright and the cameras are rolling and sun sometimes shining as it's going down, the spotlight is on you. So we are the breeding ground for the future, and that's pretty much my job as it's been, since I've obtained the position.
All right, Coach, great to see you once again. Congratulations on all the development being done at the JV level, and certainly the varsity benefited this year with all the newcomers that have made some significant strides within the program. So take care, stay safe, and we'll catch up with you down the line, I'm sure, okay?
Thank you very much. Take care, stay safe.
All right, that's JV head coach Denard Shelton here on the coaches segment. One more segment as we come back from break. We'll catch up again with head coach Kedrick Williams and preview Mound West Tonka on Inside City Football.
Why should young people care about the spread of coronavirus? Well, we know that people with underlying medical conditions over the age of 60 are at highest risk, but they've got to get it from somebody.
So we're asking everyone to be selfless for others so that we can protect those who are most susceptible.
Not going to bars, not going to restaurants. It all just means physical separation so that you have a space between you and others.
For more information on how you can social distance, please go to coronavirus.gov.
Back on Inside Kennedy Football, final segment as the Eagles on Thursday will head out west to play Mound West Tonka. Back to preview that one is the head coach, Kedrick Williams. Coach, I love how the players corrected me right away that game is, he said, Josh, that game's on Thursday, not on Wednesday. What are you doing here?
To me, I mean, that's how much, I'm into preparation, they're into playing.
All right, Coach. Mound West Tonka, they're coming off of a similarly dominating performance as you guys had on Friday. They defeated St. Anthony 31-0. What do you know about Mound West Tonka?
Well, Mount West Tonka is a lot more similar to us this year. They're playing a lot of young guys. Unfortunately, St. Anthony's playing a lot of freshmen and sophomores. That's why that score is indicative of that. But what we do know is they do some of the similar things they did to us last year. A base 5-2 defense, 3-4 under. We know that they're going to try to throw a lot of screens on us and get the ball off the quarterback's hand quickly. Jake Gaylord, number 14, is their quarterback. I know that he'll try to go downfield on us a little bit like he did last year. It was a pretty close ball game last year, 21-6. So we are looking at, again, avenging that loss that we had and correcting some of the mistakes that we made in that game.
Let's take a look at some of those highlights from that Mound West Tonka win last week. Coach, anytime you get a shutout as they did, you're going to play well on defense, and they seem to be a very fundamentally sound defense as they come away with an interception here with the quarterback under tremendous pressure.
Again, here you go. You see their 52 safeties are up on that one. They do get pressure on the quarterback, which is always when the front does their job, the back does their job. They work together. So same thing we preach in our practices. If the front pressures, DBs can go ahead and get those picks in the backfield.
And then, Coach, you mentioned they can throw downfield. Here's a long 66-yard touchdown pass that they were able to generate offensively last week against St. Anthony.
Yep, and this is their 3-by-1 set we have here. Jake is simply going to read a screen throw, and he just does the rest on his own.
You mentioned those screens that they like to run, so always have to be prepared that in that one, that kind of that jailbreak screen action. And then, they always want to run the football, Coach. So here they're able to get a big play through that run game, which I know you guys have been doing a great job of slowing other teams' run games down pretty much all year, and that's going to be you have to do that again on Thursday.
We will, knock on wood, Josh. Yes, we've been doing a great job at that for the last few games. Our defense has really picked that up. So what we're hoping is, and the one thing I look at, Josh, is our defense is senior laden. I believe out of the 11 kids, 9 are seniors on our defensive team. So, an experienced group there. Really proud of that group and what they've done this year on defense.
Yeah, and Coach, when you look at the game on Thursday, you do have more games potentially down the line. So, what are you looking to see from your team on Thursday besides the win? Hopefully, that'll get you prepared for section play coming up next week.
Well, that's it. We want to keep this momentum. We've had this momentum really since the second quarter of Southwest game. And no, the wins didn't necessarily come the next two games, but the effort came. And when you talk about effort, nothing that you can replace with effort. Effort is maximized. So, and that's what I'm preaching to our kids. As long as we continue to provide effort, everything else will take care of itself going down into the playoffs as we get ready to battle for sections next Tuesday.
All right, Coach, we'll let you get to it. Good luck on Thursday. Congrats again on the great win on senior night last Friday. Stay safe, okay?
Thank you, and thank you to the Bloomington Foundation this week. Rachel Keller, shout out. We was using our coats today at practice. It was nice and cold out there, so we appreciate you and the Kennedy administration. Thanks again. Go Eagles. Eastside Pride.
All right, that's head coach Kedrick Williams. Again, Kennedy, last regular season game on Thursday against Mound Westonka. We'll talk to the head coach next week on another edition of Inside Kennedy Football. For our entire crew, this is Josh Powers saying good night from our virtual studio.